Howdy friends, it's Casey LaCourse coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada with another Hearts of the West video showcase of Western music, cowboy poetry, and at the end, I have a new format now. I ask the performers 2 questions, and they answer those questions for me. It is an option. They all don't have to do it, but when they do, it's great, and they send me a video of it, so I'm always very appreciative of that. Now, let me tell you that this showcase has been running since June, and I am very fortunate to have so many friends that oblige me and come on this video showcase so that we all have a little memory to keep forever. And I post on all 3 social medias, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So it's always there for you to enjoy. And I post a new video every Tuesday. And if you can't catch it on Tuesday, you can catch it on Wednesday or anytime the rest of the week, or even down the road past then. It's on my Hearts of the West group page. So today, now I usually start off with one of my own poems, but I am going to recite a poem by a very good poet. Her name is Susan O'Connell. And she lives in Southern California, and she is an award-winning cowboy poet. And she's lived down there for about 50 years, and she contributes to the local community theater, and she also goes on stage and recites when she gets a chance to. Now, the title of this poem is Victorian Ladies by Susan O'Connell. Victorian ladies wore layers of clothes as the fashions of the day dictated. For to wear any less was a scandal, you see, as the history books so clearly stated. So I offer my friends this unerring account from the days when Victoria was queen, as we see how a lady attired herself in this daily but lengthy routine. First on were the bloomers for modesty's sake, then a chemise to cover the breast. Next came the corset to cinch in the waist. The hourglass figure was best. Now add a petticoat, perhaps even 3, all trimmed with satin and lace. Then cover the corset with a silk camisole and a 4th petticoat, just in case. High button boots must be polished and neat. No scruffs or worn heels were permitted. Lacy garters to hold up the stocking were next, but you see, we're only halfway outfitted. Using irons that singe and hairpins that pinch, her long curls must be carefully dressed. But to create the right look, these elaborate styles required 2 hours at the best. Next, a bustle is tied to the back of the waist. The silhouette adds such a flair. Then a skirt and a blouse or a dress goes on. Next, be careful, don't mess up the hair. Now dozens of buttons from collar to waist must be modestly fastened up tight. And jewelry, a hanky, a dab of perfume, and her costume is just about right. Next, a hat must securely be pinned on her head and a cape to help keep her warm. And gloves, reticulo, as she's ready to go. She's the picture of Victorian charm. With all that it takes to get herself dressed, a lady follows the customs, no doubt. But this daily ordeal from bloomers to hat leaves her much too fatigued to go out. Right? That was a good one, Susan. I always enjoy reciting your poems for my audience. And now we're going to get on with the showcase. I hope you enjoy it. And see you here next Tuesday, folks, for another video showcase of Hearts of the West. See ya.
Howdy, this is Montana Foxx, and I'm going to sing you a song I wrote called Punching a Few Cows. Because I'm a cow puncher, cow poke, whatever you want to call me, day rider. Don't have my own ranch or ride for the brand. Broke, you know, like broken, like the tree in your saddle, like that leather piece missing from your bridle, and that little piece of twine you tied on. Come on now, hurry up. is still hanging on. Let's talk about fixing it. You know, like fix. Like fix it. Like when the elk and the deer run through fences. Like that old broke down corral. Looky there, them damn bulls, they just busted it all down. Come on, boys, hurry up. They're all getting out. But no worries. Look all around us. We're surrounded by sweet sage. Listen to the magpies. Oh, they always have something to say. Hear that rumbling, that slow, steady hum. It's the cattle moving down south. Today's like any other day, just punching a few cows. Oodle-lay-tee, whoop-de-doo. Oodle-lay-tee, whoop-de-doo. Oodle-lay-tee-dee-dee-doo. Whoop, come on, cow. Yippee-yi-ti-yay. Let's talk about mending it. You know, like mend. Mend that barbed wire cut on your hand. Mend that hole in the bottom of the water pan. Mend that poor young cowboy's heart. Last night I heard he was dealt a pretty bad hand. The moon is slowly rising and the stars are close behind. Listen to the coyotes, whoop, whoop, woo, whoop, woo, whoop, woo. Hear that rumbling, that slow, steady hum. It's the cattle moving down south. Tonight's like any other night, just punching a few cows. Look all around us, we're surrounded by sweet sage. Listen to the coyotes, whoop, whoop, woo, whoop, woo, whoop, woo. Hear that rumbling, that slow, steady hum. It's the cattle moving down south. Today's like any other day, just punching a few cows. Thanks, y'all. Oh, let me answer a couple questions. My favorite line from a movie is, "Skin that smoke wagon. And are you just going to stand there and bleed?" I just like it. And then, when did I know I was going to do cowboy music? I believe it was when I was born. Yep, it was when I was born. I used to climb up, they say, crawl on milk crates and try to sing. And when I was 2, I remember screaming in the middle of the night. I woke up and my heart was just heaving. And my dad came in to hold me and said, "What's the matter?" I said, "Daddy, I want a pony, a black and white pony like Little Joe's." I was serious. "I want to sling guns with Annie Oakley." You know, he goes, "Oh, that's just a dying breed and you're never gonna," and I want to sing, you know, and yodel. And my dad said, "You can never make money from that. It's just a bad dream, honey. Go to sleep." But I knew then. It took me a while to get influenced by other people and other singers. And, you know, when you're born, just a couple things that you really know, most people have just forgotten. Whatever you were pretending when you were in a sandbox or the mirror. I pretended I could sing. Doing this in the mirror, I pretended I could talk to animals, and now I whisper horses, problem horses. And I knew it was a cowboy already, so. Anyways, Montana Foxx, thanks for listening to me. You guys have a nice rest of your day.
Good evening. Ron Christopher here. Thank you, Casey LaCourse, for inviting me back to your fabulous showcase. Tonight, I'd like to do an original song from my first CD. The song is called Te Amare Siempre Mi Amor. And it's on my Silver Screen Heroes and Legends CD. When I first started to write this song, I was trying to write one of those legend songs that Marty Robbins always did, because he was a big influence on me. And I asked a friend of mine, "How do you say I will love you forever in Spanish. And he told me, Te amaré siempre, mi amor. And I said, well, that sounds really romantic and sincere and sexy. And because the English version of that doesn't sound quite so sincere. So here we go. He rode down in the night from the mountain on the trail that led to her door, unafraid, determined to find, risking capture to hold her once more. While the moon was in hiding, silently he would slip by. For her kiss he was riding, for her love he was willing to die. Through the courtyard of her hacienda he crept like a thief in the night. She knelt in prayer in the chapel, her face lit by soft candlelight. Her veil of black lace suddenly fell to the floor. She whispered as he kissed her face, Te amaré siempre, mi amor. And she cried, Mi amor, we must hurry. My father will soon have me wed to a man who loves only money and has placed a price on your head. Together they slipped past the sentry, saw the smoke rings he blew in the dark, down the hall where he had gained entry. Now only a dead man stood guard. The night wind blew warm on their faces. Somewhere a whippoorwill cried, onward spurring their horses. Into the night they did ride. By sunrise they reached the border. Only then did they see the riders led by her father along the Rio Grande. Hopelessly in desperation they made a run for the town. One volley of fire from the rifles, the handsome outlaw was struck down. And she cried, Mi amor, I'm so sorry. My love has cost you your life, but I'll join you now, you needn't worry. No man will make me his wife. Theirs was the love made in legend. Their story is told to this day, how the outlaw and young señorita haunt the banks of the Rio Grande. And the townspeople say, if you listen, you can hear her last words on the wind. And they tell of the strange apparition that at sunrise still can be seen. Their lives were tragically fated. Their love was doomed from the start. At the river, the riders had waited with a bullet that shattered his heart. At the end, she used his revolver. So sing the old troubadours. Holding him closely, she whispered, Te amaré siempre, mi amor. Thank you. Good evening. A little bit of background here. back in the 90s, I was pretty much washed up in the music business. My publishing contract had expired. My windows of opportunity were gone, and I was just burned out. So I packed it in, and I stopped playing, and I stopped writing, and I just didn't do music for a while, for several years. And then about 2003, I wandered up into the Cowboy Poetry Gathering in Elko. And some friends of mine were playing there, a brand new group called New West. I'm sure you all know of them now, but they were just starting out then. And so I thought I'd go up and see what my friends were doing. And I thought that maybe this cowboy poetry thing might be hokey. I had seen Waddy and Baxter Black on the Johnny Carson show several years earlier, so I knew a little bit about it, but I'd never seen one. I was so overwhelmed by the quality of musicianship, performance, and writing and artistry. I thought I really need to be part of this. Not because I wanted to be a star. I put all that behind me. I just wanted to do music again, but I didn't have a direction. And I was tired of playing the honky-tonk bars and being in a five-piece country band. It's fun when you're younger, but as you get older, that's just not a lifestyle anymore. So I told a friend I was there with that, I've written a few songs like this, but I never used them anywhere. And he said, well, come over to this open mic and try them out. And I said, well, I haven't played in over 5 years. He said, just go up and play anyway. And so I did. And he said, well, you should write some more of this. So I did. And I was very much inspired by what I saw at that Cowboy Poetry Gathering. And that's how I got back into performing and writing Western music. 5 CDs later, I'm still at it. I got to start work on a 6th one pretty soon. The pandemic has kind of stalled me for a little while, but I still got the material, and we'll get back to it. Speaking of movie quotes, there's a quote that I used in a song called Sonora, and the song is on my Outside the Fence CD. And the quote comes from a movie that I saw when I was a child called The Magnificent Seven. At the very end of the movie, Eli Wallach is dying. Yul Brynner has killed him, shot him, and he's dying. And he says to Yul Brynner in that Mexican bandit voice, like, a man like you, in a place like this, why? And I always remember that line. It stuck with me over 40 years, and I finally put it into a song. And if you look up Sonora, you'll find a reference to it in there. Anyway, I want to thank you for listening to Casey LaCour's Hearts of the West Showcase. I want to thank Casey for allowing me to be on it. It's a real pleasure and a real privilege. Thank you. Have a good night.